What is up, TFA fam? Welcome in. Thank you so much for checking out the Michael Carter draft profile. He's someone who I think we should be a little bit more excited about. Obviously, Javonte Williams, his teammate at UNC, who he split the backfield with, is the one who's getting all the hype, and rightfully so. But I think Michael Carter is kind of just getting left in the shuffle for whatever reason. And I think he's someone we should be paying more attention to. So going to go over his recruiting profile, what he did in college, let you know what I like about his game, what I don't like, and then we'll wrap things up. So Carter was a 4-star recruit coming into the 2017 class. 24/7 Sports had him ranked as their 5th all-purpose running back, right ahead of Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He was a 4-year player with UNC. He's at the Senior Bowl right now, actually, just measured in the other day. Came in at 5'7", 202. I'm not going to completely skip over his size. We'll get to that. But in terms of his production, he finished his career with back-to-back 1,000-yard rushing seasons for the Tar Heels. And, like I was alluding to earlier with Javonte Williams, he actually had 100 more rushing yards on one fewer carry than Williams had this year. And Carter also showed well in the passing game. Had 82 total receptions at his time at UNC. 2 of his last 3 years, he had 25 catches in both of those seasons, 21 in between as a junior. And the only year that he didn't have at least 20 catches was his freshman season, where he had 11. So he can do a little bit of everything. So don't look at his size and just let that size dictate what you think of him and what he can and can't do. Looking at 2020 only, Carter did rank 1st in runs of 15 or more yards. He was 5th in missed tackles forced and 6th in yards after contact, and that's all per PFF. Now, what I like about his game, the thing that jumps off the page is his burst. You'll see him kind of just at the line of scrimmage, and as soon as he sees the hole that he wants to hit, he's gone. Like, he's hitting that hole. His burst, his short area quickness is really good. And his start and stop ability and his elusiveness is something that also stands out. It almost looks effortless for him. Like, you're not seeing him make, these crazy jump cuts from side to side. You're not seeing spin moves or hurdles or anything like that. He's just gliding in and out. And before you know it, he's picked up 20 yards. Something that helps him be able to do that is his footwork. Shows really good footwork. It's consistent. He does show good balance. He is able to run through arm tackles. If you don't square him up and wrap him up, he does have the ability to run through some tackles. And there were some instances in his game where, I saw him take, a corner for a little ride, or, he was able to push the pile in some instances. But again, you're really not looking for him to just lower the shoulder and put the boom on somebody. That's just really not his game, and it's not his strength. One other thing I do want to note that I like about him before we move on to his cons is his vision and his patience at the line of scrimmage. I'm not making this comp. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying he's Le'Veon Bell, but his patience at the line of scrimmage, just that one facet of his game, is Le'Veon Bell-like. It's Le'Veon Bell-esque. Whenever you watched Le'Veon Bell, obviously at Pittsburgh, you would almost see him just come to a stop behind the line of scrimmage. Michael Carter does that, to kind of the same degree. He lets his blocks develop in front of him, and then as soon as he sees it, you don't see him dance around. You're not going to see him try and do, what we dinged Saquon Barkley for a few years back, where he would just try and, instead of just hitting the hole and getting upfield, where he was trying to dance behind the line and go side to side. You're not going to see that with Carter. As soon as he sees what, even the slightest opening, he's hitting that hole. So he can run inside, he can run outside. He's not one of these smaller frame running backs who's just looking to completely bounce everything out, or, he doesn't shy away from contact either. So don't let that frame fool you. And also don't let the fact that it just looks so effortless for him fool you either. He's a good player. I'm excited for him, but there is one thing we have to talk about. The elephant in the room with Michael Carter is obviously his size. We can't get past it. And truthfully, it's the only thing that I don't like about his game. And it's not even his fault. It's not something he can control. But 5'7", 202, I do think that hurts his draft stock. I do think teams are going to favor, obviously, Najee Harris, Javonte Williams over somebody like him, even though he has a really good skill set. He has a skill set that fits the modern NFL. But at 202 pounds, that's just not that prototypical NFL running back workhorse size. It just isn't. And whenever we look at, the top running backs in the past couple of years, we really don't have a lot of instances of guys who are his size that have year over year fantasy production. I mean, we're basically looking at Christian McCaffrey. We're quick to forget because of how good he's been, but he came into the NFL Combine at 202 pounds. He's obviously put on some weight since then, but it's not like he came in as a 218-pound running back. And the other guy would be Aaron Jones. I mean, he's sitting at sub 210, but he's closer to 210 than he is at 200. And then the other guy size wise would be somebody like Austin Eckler. So just the other two things, obviously, go with his size. Not going to be a goal line and a short yardage back that you're going to count on time and time again. I do think you can use him at in goal line situations if he's going to beat an offense that's willing to spread things out and not just bring in 2 extra tight ends and a fullback and try and slam him into the line of scrimmage. Like, that's not his game. That's not his strength. But if you get a team that's, willing to go 3 wide when they're inside the 5 and go from like a shotgun formation to where, the defense isn't so closed in, I do think he can, he might be able to get you a touchdown here and there in those kind of situations. And then the last thing that goes along with that, pass protection. But this is something that, like, I don't really put that much stock into. Maybe it's because I love him. Drop a comment and let me know what you think about his size and if you think that's something that, is pushing you off of him. But the only reason and the only way that's going to matter for me is if he goes to an offensive line that has a bad pass protection unit. Because if they're above average, if they're good, you're not going to need to call in Michael Carter on an audible to come in and pass pro for your quarterback. If you're putting somebody like Michael Carter on the field in a passing down situation, you're putting him on the field to run a route. He might get called in to pass protect because of an audible, but you're not going to put him on the field with the intent of like, okay, that is our back that's going to keep the quarterback clean. Like, it's just not going to work that way, and it wouldn't make sense. So if he lands somewhere that has an above average pass pro offensive line, I'm not going to ding him that much, to be quite honest. But if he lands somewhere that has a bad pass protection unit, that is going to be worrisome because obviously you have to protect the quarterback. He's not going to be the guy that you're going to want to call his number time and time again to do that. All right, guys, that is going to wrap things up. Appreciate you checking this out. Please be sure to hit us with a like. If you're not yet subscribed, please do that as well. And then drop a comment. Let me know, do you like Michael Carter? Do you not? Curious to see what you guys think of Michael Carter. So let's get some conversation going, drop it in, and be sure to keep your eyes peeled for more content coming soon.